Hello and welcome, my friend, to the English 5-Day channel. I cannot tell you how happy I am that you are here again, ready to take another step forward in your English journey. Your presence here tells me something powerful. It shows that you are serious about improving, that you are willing to show up for yourself, and that you are investing time and energy into becoming the kind of speaker you want to be. That simple decision, to show up, is where everything begins. Fluency does not arrive suddenly like a gift dropped into your hands. It grows slowly, steadily, sentence by sentence, repetition by repetition, until one day you look back and realize just how far you have come. And today, we are going to build that growth together by using one of the most effective learning methods I know: shadowing. Now, if you are new to shadowing, let me take a moment to explain how it works. It is simple, but do not let its simplicity fool you. I will speak a sentence slowly, clearly, and naturally, the way a fluent English speaker would say it. Then I will pause, giving you space to repeat what you heard out loud, matching my rhythm, my intonation, and my pacing as closely as possible. You are not just repeating words. You are training your mouth to move in English, your ears to hear the sounds of English, and your mind to think in English without pausing to translate. This practice may seem like a small exercise, but it is like laying bricks for a house. Each sentence you repeat is one brick. Over time, those bricks build a strong foundation for your fluency. Shadowing works because it creates habits. It bypasses the endless focus on grammar rules and pushes you directly into the real act of speaking. Many learners ask me, how can I speak English fluently? And the answer is always this: listen, repeat, and practice every single day. Even 5 minutes of shadowing can make a difference. You do not need perfection. You do not need to sound like a native speaker tomorrow. What you need is progress, small steps, steady habits. The beauty of this method is that you can do it anywhere, at home, in your room, while walking outside, or even while taking a short break. Wherever you are, give yourself this time. Forget stress, forget fear, forget the pressure of grammar rules for a moment. Just speak. Feel your own voice growing stronger, sentence after sentence. So, are you ready? Are you ready to practice English in a way that feels real, natural, and effective? Then let's begin. I will guide you step by step. Listen carefully to each sentence, repeat after me, and let the rhythm of English settle naturally into your voice. Don't rush, don't overthink. Just speak. I usually wake up around 6:30. Sometimes I wake up later if I went to bed late. When I open my eyes, I take a deep breath and stretch. I stay in bed for a few seconds and think about my day. Then I sit up and go to the bathroom. I brush my teeth slowly and carefully. I rinse my mouth and wash my face with cold water. Cold water helps me feel fresh and awake. Sometimes I take a warm shower in the morning. If I feel tired, a quick shower gives me energy. After I shower, I dry off and change into clean clothes. I like to wear something simple and comfortable. If I have a meeting, I choose something more formal. Now pause for a moment and reflect. Notice how these sentences describe daily habits. They are simple but powerful, because they are the sentences you can actually use in your life. Think about your own mornings. Do you wake up early, or do you prefer to sleep late? Do you drink water first, or coffee, or tea? By repeating these sentences, you are not just learning abstract phrases. You are practicing real English that connects with your own routines. This makes learning both practical and memorable. Let us continue. Then I go to the kitchen to make breakfast. I usually eat eggs and toast with some fruit. Sometimes I eat oatmeal with honey and banana. If I'm in a hurry, I just drink tea or coffee. Sometimes I watch a video while I eat. I enjoy the quiet and listen to the birds. Before leaving the house, I check my phone. I look at the time and read any new messages. I check my calendar to see my plan for the day. I pack my bag with my notebook and my water bottle. Then I put on my shoes and go out the door. See how naturally the rhythm flows? You are building not just vocabulary, but also structure, the way sentences connect in daily life. Notice how short and clear they are. English often works best in short, complete sentences that carry one idea at a time. Practicing like this helps you avoid overthinking grammar and instead focus on clarity. If I go to work or school, I take the bus or walk. I greet people politely when I arrive. I check my emails and reply to the urgent ones. Then I write a short to-do list. I focus on my most important task first. Sometimes I have meetings or classes online. In the afternoon, I return to my work or studies. I try to finish what I started earlier. I make notes or review my tasks. Around 3:30, I take a break with tea and a small snack. I eat fruit or a biscuit and give my eyes a rest. If I have time, I study English for 15 minutes. I read short articles or watch English videos. I need to buy something at the store. Do you have this in a different size? How much does this cost? Can I pay by card? I would like a paper bag, please. Thank you. Have a nice day. See what happened here. You shifted from describing routines into practicing useful daily conversations. This is one of the strengths of shadowing. You move from describing your life to interacting with the world. These are sentences you could use right away, in a shop, at a cafe, or while traveling. The more you repeat them, the more natural they will feel on your tongue when the real situation comes. Can I see the menu, please? I will have a cup of coffee. Could I get it without sugar? Can I sit here? The food smells amazing. The service was excellent. Can I get the bill, please? These small exchanges, ordering food, asking for the bill, making polite requests, are the kind of real conversations that give you confidence. And the secret is this: you don't need to know 1,000 complicated words to communicate effectively. You just need clear, simple, natural sentences and the courage to use them. How are you doing today? It's nice to see you again. The weather is really nice today. I had a busy morning. Do you come here often? Let's stay in touch. Notice how these sentences are about connection. They are not academic or technical. They are about building relationships, about showing friendliness and interest in another person. This is what makes English powerful. It allows you to connect with people across cultures, across distances, and across experiences. And the more you practice these sentences now, the easier it will be to use them without hesitation in real life. Can you hear me clearly? Sorry, I missed your call. I will call you back later. Can you send me the address? I'm looking for the train station. How do I get to the library? Is this seat taken? Can you show me how to use this? These are everyday survival sentences. They allow you to navigate travel, communication, and daily interactions. Think of shadowing them as rehearsing for real life. Just like an actor practices lines before stepping onto a stage, you are practicing lines that you will use in the stage of your own daily life. I think this is a great idea. In my opinion, it's better to wait. I'm not sure about that. That sounds interesting. Let's try it and see what happens. I'm feeling really tired today. This makes me so happy. I was a little nervous before. Sometimes I feel stressed, but I try to relax. Notice the emotional variety here. These are sentences that let you express feelings, opinions, and reactions. Fluency is not only about describing routines or asking questions, it is also about expressing what is inside you. And by repeating these phrases, you are preparing yourself to share your thoughts naturally when the moment comes. I need to clean the kitchen. Let's make a to-do list. I try to study English every day. I listen to podcasts in the morning. Reading helps me learn new words. I write short sentences in my notebook. Practice makes progress. Pause for a moment and repeat that last line again. Practice makes progress. Notice I did not say practice makes perfect, because perfection is not the goal here. Progress is. Each repetition is a step forward. Each shadowed sentence is proof that you are growing. The more consistently you practice, the more fluent, natural, and confident you will become. As you continue your practice, let's deepen this journey by moving beyond simply repeating sentences and into truly inhabiting the rhythm of the language. When you shadow, you are not only echoing sounds, you are stepping into the experience of English, as if you are momentarily living inside it. Every sentence you repeat has two layers: the words themselves and the habits they carry. For example, when you say, "I usually wake up around 6:30, you are not only describing a routine, you are also practicing how English places time at the start of a thought. Notice how naturally the word usually fits into the rhythm. It is not forced or heavy. When you shadow carefully, you begin to feel that rhythm, and slowly, without conscious effort, you start using it on your own. This is why it is so essential to focus not on perfection, but on presence. You are not memorizing a script for a test. You are rehearsing for life, and the more you rehearse, the more natural it becomes. Think of it like playing a musical instrument. At first, you must pay attention to every note, but with time, the song flows through you without effort. Let us expand with more daily expressions. This time, imagining the flow of a full day. Picture yourself in the kitchen, making breakfast, preparing your thoughts for the hours ahead. You might say, "I prepare breakfast in the kitchen. I often eat eggs and toast. Sometimes I eat just fruit and yogurt. I enjoy drinking tea in the morning." By repeating these simple lines, you are reinforcing the language of your real life. These are the kinds of sentences you might actually use when speaking with a friend, when writing a journal entry, or even when chatting casually with someone about your daily habits. Shadowing sentences like these helps your tongue get comfortable with the sounds, but it also builds your confidence to describe your own life, your own routines, and your own preferences. And confidence grows best when the language is connected to you personally. When you can take these patterns and use them naturally, fluency is no longer distant. It becomes immediate and alive. As the day continues, imagine stepping outside, walking to the bus stop, and preparing for your tasks ahead. I pack my bag with what I need. I walk to the bus stop. I wait quietly and check the time. I greet the driver when I get on. I sometimes read during the ride. I watch people walking outside. I look at my schedule one more time. I get off at the right stop. Then I walk to my office building. I greet my co-workers or classmates. Each of these moments may feel ordinary, but in language learning, the ordinary is golden. It is the language of everyday life, and mastering it gives you a solid foundation to build from. Think of it as creating a reliable set of tools. You can always rely on these sentences when you need them, and from there, you can expand into more complex expressions. That is why shadowing works so beautifully. It trains you to use English in the same way you would use your own native language, without pausing, without translating, without hesitation. Now picture yourself arriving at work or school, sitting at your desk, and beginning the day. I turn on my computer and check emails. I start with my most important task. I take notes in my notebook. I usually take a break after an hour. I stretch or walk around the room. These sentences may sound simple, but they carry something powerful: rhythm and clarity. English, as a language, values straightforward communication. Short, clear sentences are not a weakness. They are a strength. They allow you to express yourself directly, without confusion. When you shadow them, you are absorbing not only the words, but also the style of communication that makes English effective in the real world. And every time you speak them aloud, you are teaching yourself to communicate clearly and naturally. Let's focus for a moment on growth and mindset. Fluency is not only about vocabulary or grammar, it is also about believing in your ability to improve. This is why so many of the sentences in this practice include affirmations. New words help me express myself better. I believe in my ability to improve. Every day brings new learning opportunities. Speaking English gets easier with practice. I feel more confident when I speak out loud. English practice makes me stronger and more fluent. By repeating these kinds of sentences, you are not only practicing English, you are also programming your mind to stay motivated. Each phrase is like a small seed planted in your confidence, reminding you that improvement is possible, that effort is never wasted, and that every attempt brings you closer to your goal. Language learning is not a sprint, it is a journey. And journeys require both patience and persistence. These affirmations are your way of keeping your spirit strong while your skills grow. Think also about pronunciation. When you repeat a line like, "I challenge myself to pronounce words clearly," small daily improvements lead to big success. Practicing regularly makes learning enjoyable. My pronunciation gets better every time I try. You are setting an intention as much as practicing a skill. Pronunciation is not something you master overnight. It is built gradually, through listening carefully and repeating consistently. Shadowing trains your mouth to move in new ways, to produce sounds that may not exist in your native language. At first, this may feel strange, even uncomfortable, but that is how progress feels in any skill. With repetition, the strangeness disappears, and what once felt difficult becomes natural. That is the power of habit. Every time you shadow a sentence, you are strengthening the muscles of your mouth, the patterns of your brain, and the clarity of your speech. Consider also the emotional side of speaking. For many learners, speaking a new language can bring nervousness, fear of mistakes, or self-consciousness about accent. But when you practice with shadowing, you are practicing in a safe space. You are speaking out loud, without pressure, without judgment, and without fear. Sentences like, "Speaking smoothly takes patience and effort." English helps me connect with people worldwide. I celebrate every step forward in my progress. Confidence makes speaking feel effortless. Remind you that mistakes are not failures, they are steps. Progress is built on mistakes. The more you embrace this truth, the freer you will feel. And the freer you feel, the more naturally you will speak. Fluency is not about eliminating mistakes. It is about moving through them gracefully. As you continue shadowing, notice how English begins to slip into your daily life. English is becoming part of my everyday life. I appreciate my growth no matter how small. I practice speaking every day. Mistakes help me improve. My confidence grows with practice. English opens new opportunities for me. These lines are not just practice. They are reminders of what is happening to you as a learner. The language is no longer only something you study, it is something you live. When you practice consistently, English becomes like a friend you spend time with daily. And like any friendship, the more time you invest, the deeper and more natural it becomes. Now let's move into some variety, because fluency requires flexibility. Imagine yourself in conversations, expressing thoughts and feelings in different ways. I listen carefully and repeat. I speak slowly and clearly. I am learning new words daily. I enjoy practicing English. Small steps lead to big progress. Every time I practice, I get better at speaking English. I trust the process and enjoy my journey. Learning English is fun and exciting for me. These are more than just practice sentences. They are the kind of language that keeps you moving forward when motivation dips. Everyone has days when they feel tired or discouraged, but by repeating affirmations like these, you give yourself the strength to keep showing up. And showing up, again and again, is the real key to fluency. Picture yourself reflecting at the end of the day, reviewing your progress. I show up every day to improve my skills. I feel more confident when I speak English. My pronunciation improves every time I practice. I focus on speaking naturally and smoothly. I challenge myself to speak without hesitation. I believe in myself and my progress. These are not abstract thoughts. They are truths you are shaping into reality. Every time you shadow them, you are reinforcing the belief that you are capable of improvement. And belief is not just emotional, it affects your performance. When you trust that you are improving, you speak more freely, you try more often, and you learn more quickly. That is the psychological power of shadowing. It strengthens both your skills and your self-belief at the same time. As this part of our practice continues, you are not only repeating sentences, you are training your brain to think in English patterns. That shift is the turning point in every learner's journey. When you stop translating in your head and start thinking directly in English, speaking becomes faster, smoother, and more natural. That is why shadowing is so effective. It pulls you out of the habit of translating and into the habit of responding automatically. It teaches your brain that English is not a foreign object. It is a tool you can wield naturally. When you move deeper into this practice, you begin to realize that learning English is not simply about memorizing words or constructing sentences. It is about creating an inner world where the language feels natural, alive, and part of your thinking. Shadowing is not just an activity to fill a few minutes of your day. It is a rehearsal for the way you want English to flow through your life. By immersing yourself in these spoken rhythms, you are training both your ear and your tongue, developing a sense of natural fluency that cannot be gained through silent study alone. Think of how a dancer practices steps. They do not only watch or read about dancing, they move, they repeat, they embody the rhythm until the movement is second nature. The same applies to language. Every time you repeat, every time you echo, every time you shadow, you are teaching your body, your breath, and your voice to move with English naturally. And when that begins to feel natural, confidence replaces hesitation. Let's imagine now a broader range of daily situations where English becomes useful. Suppose you are making plans with a friend. You might practice sentences like, "Let's meet at the cafe this afternoon." "I will order a cup of coffee. Would you like something to eat?" "We can sit by the window. I enjoy talking with you." These are ordinary interactions, but they carry an important truth. Language learning is not about rare, complicated expressions. It is about communication. The ability to express your thoughts clearly in simple, direct sentences is far more valuable than memorizing difficult vocabulary you may never use. Shadowing lines like these equips you for real conversations. Imagine being in that cafe, ordering confidently, chatting comfortably, and feeling proud that you can navigate these situations without stress. That feeling of ease, of comfort, is the true measure of progress. Now picture yourself traveling, perhaps visiting a new city. Sentences like, "Excuse me, could you tell me the way to the train station? I would like to buy a ticket, please. What time does the train leave? Thank you very much for your help." These are practical expressions that open doors in real life. When you shadow them, you are preparing yourself not just for language practice, but for the adventures of life itself. Language is a passport, and English especially connects you with people and places across the world. Every time you repeat these sentences, you are equipping yourself for new opportunities, whether that is a trip abroad, a conversation online, or a meeting with someone from another culture. English is not just a subject to learn, it is a bridge to experiences. In professional life too, shadowing prepares you to speak with clarity. Imagine saying, "I have a meeting this afternoon. I will prepare my notes carefully. I plan to share my ideas clearly. I listen to others with attention. I thank my team for their effort." These sentences are not complicated, but they mirror the language of everyday work interactions. If you practice them, you will be ready to handle real situations with confidence. Fluency is not about sounding impressive. It is about sounding clear. In many workplaces, colleagues appreciate direct, simple communication. So when you shadow sentences like these, you are training yourself to be effective in real contexts. Think of how much easier your work or studies could feel if you no longer worried about the words, but could instead focus on the ideas you want to share. That is the true gift of shadowing practice, freedom of focus. Of course, language learning is not only about tasks and responsibilities, it is also about connection. Imagine meeting someone new and practicing, "Hello, nice to meet you. Where are you from? I am learning English to meet new people. I enjoy talking with friends. I like hearing about other cultures." By shadowing these friendly phrases, you prepare yourself for the joy of connection. Human beings learn languages not only to pass exams, but to connect, to understand, to share. And each time you repeat lines like these, you are rehearsing the possibility of connection. The next time you meet someone new, your brain will not freeze. Instead, it will remember these patterns and flow naturally into conversation. This is where practice transforms into confidence. You will not need to search desperately for words because the words are already living in you. One of the most powerful aspects of shadowing is that it allows you to embody belief while you practice. Consider the affirmations that remind you of your growth. I am becoming more fluent each day. I trust myself to learn step by step. My practice today builds my strength for tomorrow. Every word I speak improves my skills. I celebrate my progress with gratitude. These are not empty phrases. They are psychological tools. When you shadow them, you are combining two powerful acts, practicing English and reinforcing belief in yourself. Learning a language is as much an emotional journey as it is an intellectual one. Many learners give up, not because they lack ability, but because they lose faith in their progress. Shadowing affirmations helps you avoid that trap. It gives you energy to continue and reminds you that progress is already happening, even if it feels slow. Fluency is built through persistence, and persistence is sustained by belief. It is also worth remembering that mistakes are not only natural, They are essential. When you shadow a sentence and stumble, that stumble is not failure. It is learning in action. You might practice, "Mistakes are my teachers. I am not afraid of making errors. Each correction makes me stronger. My fluency grows through practice, not perfection." By saying these words out loud, you are reprogramming your relationship with mistakes. Instead of fearing them, you begin to welcome them as part of the journey. This shift is liberating. Imagine no longer worrying about whether your English is perfect. Imagine focusing only on whether you are communicating and learning. That is the mindset that unlocks real fluency. Think too about the joy of progress. Picture yourself reflecting at the end of a week of practice. "I showed up for myself every day. I can feel my English improving. My confidence is higher than before. Speaking feels more natural now. I am proud of the progress I have made." These are moments to celebrate. Too often, learners focus only on how far they still have to go. But when you shadow affirmations like these, you remind yourself to acknowledge the ground you have already covered. Motivation is not only about pushing forward, it is also about recognizing your wins along the way. When you do this, practice becomes not a chore, but a source of joy. Another valuable element of shadowing is rhythm. Notice how English sentences often move with a particular cadence. For instance, "I wake up early. I prepare my breakfast. I start my work with focus. I take a short break. I continue until lunch." These are short, clear statements with a rhythm that makes them easy to follow. By shadowing them, you are not only learning words, but also absorbing this natural rhythm. That rhythm is what makes your speech sound fluent and connected. Without rhythm, speech sounds forced. With rhythm, it flows. And flow is the secret ingredient of fluency. When listeners hear your speech flow naturally, they feel comfortable and you feel confident. As your practice continues, you may notice that shadowing affects more than just your English. It also influences your mindset in other areas of life. Repeating lines such as, "I stay calm under pressure. I trust my ability to adapt. I handle challenges with patience. I enjoy learning new skills. I grow stronger every day," can shift the way you see yourself, not only as a language learner, but as a person. Shadowing teaches patience, discipline, and resilience. These qualities go beyond language and enrich your entire life. In this way, shadowing is not just a method for speaking, it is a practice for living with intention. Finally, let us consider consistency. Shadowing is most effective when it becomes a daily habit. Even 10 minutes a day can create remarkable change if practiced consistently. You might shadow sentences like, "I practice every day, even if only for a few minutes. I make English part of my daily routine. I show up whether I feel motivated or not. I know consistency brings results. My effort today prepares me for tomorrow." These lines encapsulate the truth about progress. It is not about intensity once in a while, it is about persistence over time. And the beauty of shadowing is that it fits easily into daily life. You can do it while walking, while commuting, while preparing food, or even while relaxing. It does not require special equipment or long preparation. It only requires your voice and your willingness to repeat. And if you continue this practice day after day, you will look back in a few months and be amazed at how natural your English feels. As we arrive at the final stage of this extended practice, I want you to pause for a moment and appreciate the journey you have already taken. Think about how far you have come since the beginning of this series. You began by showing up, by making the choice to commit yourself to practice. And with each repetition, each sentence, And each shadowing exercise, you have been planting seeds of fluency inside your mind and body. The simple act of repeating after me, sometimes slowly, sometimes with effort, sometimes with ease, has been building invisible layers of progress. It may not always be obvious from one day to the next, but if you look back over weeks or months, you will notice a transformation. Your mouth now forms English sounds with less hesitation. Your ears recognize patterns more quickly. Your confidence, little by little, has grown stronger. And as you stand here in this moment, completing another step in your journey, I want you to recognize that what you are building is more than vocabulary or grammar. You are building a voice that will serve you in countless situations, whether in work, in study, in travel, or in relationships. Now let us continue our shadowing with a series of reflections that blend language practice with life practice. Repeat after me, and let these words sink into both your language and your mindset. I trust the process of learning. Each day I am improving. My progress is steady and real. I grow more confident every time I practice. I do not compare myself to others. I focus on my own journey. These sentences are powerful because they train two things at once: the sound of English flowing from your voice and the deep reminder that your progress is valid, no matter what pace it takes. Comparison often steals joy from learners, but shadowing phrases like these protects you from that trap, reminding you that your path is unique and worthy of respect. When you shadow these affirmations, you are not only learning English, you are building resilience against self-doubt. Let us imagine a scenario where you are preparing for an important conversation, perhaps a job interview, a presentation, or even a meaningful personal exchange. You might say, "I have prepared myself carefully. I speak with calm confidence. I express my ideas clearly and respectfully. I listen closely and respond thoughtfully. I am ready to succeed in this moment." These sentences, when repeated aloud, help to rehearse not only the words you may need, but also the feeling you want to bring into that situation. Shadowing is, in many ways, a rehearsal for life itself. You practice in a safe space so that when the real moment arrives, your mind and voice already know the steps. Imagine walking into that interview or presentation and feeling your sentences rise up naturally without fear because you have already practiced their rhythm many times. This is the power of shadowing. It builds not only knowledge, but preparedness. Now let us shift toward everyday life once again, because fluency is not measured only by big events, but by the flow of daily conversations. Shadow after me. I enjoy my morning routine. I greet my neighbors with kindness. I speak politely to people I meet. I ask simple questions and listen to the answers. I use English naturally in my day. These lines seem ordinary, but they are the foundation of communication. The ability to exchange greetings, to ask questions, to listen attentively. These are the skills that make language alive. When you shadow them daily, you internalize the patterns so deeply that they become second nature. Imagine the small joy of greeting someone confidently, or ordering food without hesitation, or sharing a few words with a stranger in English. These small wins accumulate, and soon you find yourself not only studying English, but living it. At this stage, you may also realize how shadowing connects your body and your breath to the language. Each sentence you repeat requires you to coordinate breath, tongue, lips, and voice. This physical aspect of learning is often overlooked, but it is crucial. Let us practice sentences that highlight this connection. I breathe deeply before I speak. I let my voice flow smoothly. I feel relaxed when I use English. I allow the rhythm of the language to guide me. I enjoy the sound of my voice in English. When you shadow these lines, you are not only practicing grammar or vocabulary, you are practicing control, calmness, and expression. You are learning to trust your voice, to find comfort in it, and to allow English to feel like a natural extension of yourself. This embodiment of language is what transforms learning from an academic exercise into a lived skill. Another powerful dimension of shadowing is gratitude, because gratitude keeps the heart open and motivated. Let us practice together. I am grateful for the chance to learn. I am grateful for every word I can speak. I am grateful for my progress so far. I am grateful to the people who support me. I am grateful for the opportunities that English brings. These affirmations do more than strengthen your English. They also nurture your mindset. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have, from frustration to appreciation. And when you shadow gratitude in English, you are training yourself to express positivity in a global language. Imagine ending your day with a grateful heart and at the same time improving your English skills. It is a beautiful double reward. Consistency remains the ultimate key. Fluency is not born from intensity once in a while. It is created by steady repetition. Let us shadow lines that affirm this truth. I practice every day. I keep my sessions simple and focused. I return to the practice even when I am busy. I know that small steps build big results. My consistency makes me fluent. These are not just motivational slogans. They are reminders of the practical reality of learning. 10 minutes a day repeated faithfully is more powerful than hours of irregular study. Shadowing is especially suited to this approach because it requires so little to begin. No textbooks, no complicated tools, just your voice, your attention, and your willingness to repeat. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes until practice feels like part of your identity. Let us not forget, too, that language learning can be a source of joy. It is easy to think of it only as work, but when you approach it with curiosity and openness, it becomes play. Repeat after me. I enjoy playing with words. I enjoy hearing new sounds. I enjoy practicing with energy. I enjoy surprising myself with progress. I enjoy learning English every day. These statements remind you that joy is not separate from learning. It is part of it. Shadowing, when embraced with lightness, becomes a game of rhythm and sound. Each repetition is like a musical note, and together they create the melody of your fluency. When you enjoy the process, you no longer force yourself to practice. You look forward to it. And that shift, from duty to delight, changes everything. Finally, let us close with a vision of the future you are creating. Repeat with me. I see myself speaking English confidently. I see myself connecting with people around the world. I see myself traveling and exploring with ease. I see myself working and studying successfully. I see myself living with the freedom of fluency. These lines are a vision exercise, a way of stepping into the future before it arrives. When you shadow them, you are rehearsing not only the language, but the life you want to live. You are reminding yourself why this journey matters. You are anchoring your daily practice to a larger dream, a dream of freedom, confidence, and connection. And when that dream guides you, no obstacle can stop your progress. So, as we conclude this practice together, carry these truths with you. Remember that shadowing is more than repetition. It is rhythm, embodiment, mindset, and vision. Remember that fluency is not a destination to reach one day. It is a journey to live every day. And above all, remember that you already have everything you need inside you. The voice, the willingness, the courage. All you must do is show up, repeat, and trust the process. Day by day, sentence by sentence, your English will grow stronger, your confidence will deepen, and your dream of fluency will become reality. Keep practicing, keep believing, and keep moving forward. This is your journey, and it is worth every step.